Thanks for joining us on ARC Salt Lake. I am Jim Spiewak. It is Friday, March 6th, where tonight we're taking a closer look at how the community in Wayne County is responding after 3 women were killed earlier this week. But first, we do have some updates on the murder suspect's first court appearance. That was a little bit earlier today. Ivan Miller made his first court appearance in Colorado, and during that virtual hearing, a judge explained to him the charges that he is facing. Right now, it's not known when he will be extradited back here to Utah to face aggravated murder charges. Future hearings will decide those details, but for now, he will remain behind bars.
Because Utah charges involve aggravated murder, which is punishable by death or life imprisonment, bond is not available.
Miller will be back in a Colorado courtroom on May 14th. Wayne County is still processing the 3 murders in their small community. One woman, a neighbor of one of the victims, felt like she had to do something to try to honor the neighbor's memory. So she grabbed some pink ribbon and got to work tying them around all over the place throughout the county. 2 News' David Ochoa spoke with this neighbor about the days following the homicides and how the community is responding.
It was about 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was just like, I need to do something. Like, I want to do something to show my love and my appreciation for Margaret and for the other 2 women that lost their lives. And Margaret reminded me of Pink because she was this beautiful, spunky, sassy woman that was the sweetest soul on this earth. And I decided that I was going to tie pink ribbons. And I decided the next morning that I was going to put it on Facebook and just see if anyone would want to help. I wasn't really expecting anything, but the community came out and people started calling me and they were like, hey, I've got all this pink ribbon. Do you want me to start on this side of Loa? And you know, by the time we were in Lyman putting ribbons up, I had so many people coming out of the woodworks offering either money donations to purchase ribbon or help put it up and tie it everywhere. And that was really cool. It was really amazing to see the community come together in this time of trial.
When you saw just the reaction from the community to kind of join you in doing this, what was your thoughts?
That we live in a really stellar community. When something happens to one of us, everyone bands together and they make sure that the people affected are taken care of. Wayne County is a huge family. It's like a giant family unit. And so I think we really just wanted the families of those affected to know, like, hey, we're here for you, we support you, we love you. To let all of those struggling in the community, because it's affected all of us. It's affected every single one of us. And I don't think that we will ever be the same, but I think that we will come away stronger than we were. And I really just wanted to show that with the ribbons.
Did you know Margaret pretty well? Or
I did, yeah.
So, wow. So it's really hit home, I'm sure.
Yeah, Margaret very made me feel not like an outsider, you know, like she just welcomed me into Lyman and she just made me feel a part of everything going on. I did her hair, and I really enjoyed when she would come over. We'd have great conversations. She had been a widow for a long time, and a lot of us would go and visit her, and she is the epitome of Lyman. Like, when I think of Lyman, Margaret is who comes to mind. She's just always been there, and she's been like the grandma to all of us.
Now, 2 News also spoke with the Lyman mayor about how he thinks his community will be impacted. Take a listen.
As you guys move forward from this, how do you think you guys are going to just come together and move on together? What's it going to look like in your mind?
Well, I think it's a good reminder that we do need to remain together and need to take care of each other and show support to each other. Margaret was one person that she was, although she was not, didn't show it outwardly and didn't brag or do anything about it, but she was one person that shared and worked with everybody in town, helped everybody in town. I don't think there's a person in town that hasn't been a recipient of her kindness and her willing to share and bring things and share things and be a good friend to her. And so I think that's the example that we all need to follow, is she's kind of shown us how to do that. So now we need to follow up and follow in her footsteps and take care of each other just like she did. This is going to impact us for a lot of years. I mean, this is something that is just so unusual and so foreign to us, having it be so close to us, that it's something that's going to linger. I don't know, I've kind of thought in my own mind that this is our own 9/11. We'll all know where we were and what we were doing when we heard the news of this happening to her and those other ladies. I certainly offer my condolence to them. I didn't know those ladies, but certainly they were great in their community as well, I'm sure, and did lots of things well in their community that they need to be recognized as well.
We've been covering this story since we heard the news. With the investigation began, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office was urging people to stay inside, lock their doors, and keep their outside lights on. We spoke to a former county sheriff about this and how rare that type of an alert is. You can find that interview on our website, KUTV.com, and our 2 News mobile app. The failure of Senate Bill 124, known as Gavin's Bill, is personal for Kevin Franke. He is the ex-husband of Ruby Franke and the father of Russell and Eve, 2 of the children found malnourished and abused inside a southern Utah home. This week, Russell and Eve urged lawmakers to pass this bill, saying that it could have given authorities another tool to intervene and potentially spare them from months of abuse. The measure passed the Senate, but it did fail in the House. It would have expanded when law enforcement or child welfare services could step in if there were credible signs of a child in danger. 2 News' Ariel Harrison spoke with Kevin Franke about why he believes this bill really matters.
But to you, this feels like such a failure and such a slap in the face because of what your family has been through.
Yeah, it really does. It feels personal, especially since I know some of those representatives. I know that this was an important issue for them at some point in the past. I know that some of them know my kids, and yet they voted this way. In essence, what this vote felt like to me was they were voting in favor and support of Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrandt and protecting their privacy and what Jody and Ruby would call their parental right to abuse their children, instead of voting to protect children. That's what this effectively was yesterday.
Mr. Franke's experience was, they isolate the child. Then they ignore phone calls. They ignore door knocks. It's this evasion that parents know with our current system who are abusing their children, they know they can get away with. What needs to change?
Those parents need to know that they can't hide behind their doors anymore or their unanswered phones. If you're committing child abuse, you need to be afraid and know that you're going to be caught and that your child is going to be rescued and be fine. Right now, we're essentially telling kids, sorry, kids, you're on your own. We can't come and get you unless somehow you escape or you find a way to give physical evidence that you're being abused, and then we can interact or then we can come and save you. But until then, you're on your own. Sorry. And to me, that's unacceptable. That's not Utah. We can do better than that.
Critics of the bill cite government overreach of parental rights and unjust removal as concerns. There might be a small chance for the bill to come back before the end of this year's legislative session. It's just past 7 o'clock. Lawmakers have until 11:59 tonight to pass any bill. So if it doesn't pass this session, the Franke family says they will continue to fight. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, how the war in Iran is impacting gas and grocery prices. Tonight, we're keeping an eye on your money by taking a closer look at how the conflict over in the Middle East may be impacting you here back at home. From the pump to the grocery store, Liv Kelleher looks at what the long-term impact could be.
As tensions heighten in the Middle East, oil and gas experts say Americans will feel the hit almost immediately.
Are you concerned that prices, oil, gas, are going to go up with what's going on in the Middle East?
Of course I am. The oil companies will do anything to raise the price.
Definitely raises a concern in the regards of how much I travel.
Drivers in Utah have already noticed prices climbing at the pump. But experts say rising fuel costs are only the first ripple.
It's almost cause and effect.
Mark LaCour with Oil and Gas Global Network says energy prices affect nearly every part of our economy.
Something like crude oil goes up even 1 or 2%, that affects everything from eggs to milk to your ability to buy toys for your kids.
Crude oil is refined to power the boats, trains, trucks, and cars that move goods around the world.
Don't be surprised if you see the price of stuff you buy on Amazon in the U.S. go up 10% this week, just across the board.
He says agriculture and subsequently the price of food could be hit hard.
60% of the world is being fed with fertilizer made from natural gas. The shortage of fertilizer will cause food prices to go up globally in the next growing seasons.
This, coupled with the increase in transportation costs, could mean difficult financial decisions.
You're going to have families here in the U.S. that are going to have to choose between feeding their kids or putting gas in their car to go to work so they can make money.
LaCour says even if the conflict were to end today, the effects of this war could be felt by consumers for the next 12 months.
LaCour says that consumers don't have to be as concerned with their electric bills because here in the States we rely on such a diverse mix of fuels to power our homes. His key advice, however, is to get to the pumps now. He says fill up your car and any additional gas canisters as soon as you can because gasoline will see the most immediate and consistent spike in price. Reporting in Salt Lake City, Liv Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
2 News' Leslie Duarte spoke with a man who was trapped in Israel for nearly 5 days trying to find a way out of the region and back here to the U.S. His name is Ed Bailey, and he says that they were there on a religious tour of Egypt, Jordan, and Israel. He says that after the traumatic experience of missiles and jets flying right over his head, he and the rest of his group safely made it back here to America. Let's take a listen to part of his story.
What are you doing to try to leave Israel to get back to America?
Well, one of the guides for this voyage that we were on, his name was Syme, and he's from Jerusalem. And so he was a miracle worker for us many different times. And so we said, okay, we started telling him, how do we get out of here? And he said, well, we can go to Jordan or to Egypt, and they've got airspace that you can fly out of. But then he came back, he said, well, Jordan's airspace has been turned off and on and off and on. And also the situation is, you're going towards Iran if you go to Jordan. We said, no, we want to go to Egypt and get away from it. So the best solution for all of us was, let's go to Egypt. Well, there's only one border open in all of Israel to get to Egypt, and that was the southern border. He says, okay, how do we get to the southern border? So this little miracle worker of ours, Syme, lined up a van to come pick us up in the middle of the night. So we kind of just snuck out of there because the military didn't want you leaving at all. We didn't want to have the M16 coming at us saying, what are you doing outside the hotel? So we have a video, we're all sneaking down the path, with our luggage and run down to his van that was there picking us up. And then he just took off and headed down. It was a 4.5 hour drive down to the southern border from Jerusalem.
Did you ever feel like you were in danger while
all the time? We were.
And you can watch all of our coverage on the conflict in Iran and more of that interview and the impacts being felt here at home on our KUTV YouTube page. Scan that QR code that you see right there on your screen and it will take you right there. All right, time to switch up gears now and get your first check of the weather outside. It got a little bit warmer yesterday, and then we saw some snow overnight. Chase Thomason has our first alert forecast.
Some pretty big totals, especially up the Cottonwood Canyons over the past 48 hours, which we love to see. Alton, Snowbird, the big winners with 32 inches, but Brighton not bad at 19, 15 in Solitude. So the storm is beginning to wind down, and I doubt we'll see any more snow at those ski resorts as we head through tonight. But take a look, about a foot or so at Park City, Deer Valley, and Beaver Mountain 9, 8 at Powder Mountain, Snow Basin 6. Ski resorts are going to be very busy this weekend, and stay in bounds because the backcountry, at least those steep slopes, pretty dangerous with avalanche danger. This weekend also is daylight saving time. It begins Saturday night into Sunday morning. We lose an hour of sleep, but the silver lining is that our sunset, which is right around 6:30, goes to about 7:30 later this weekend. a sign that spring is right around the corner. We still have a couple lingering rain and snow showers. Most of it is well east of I-15 into eastern Utah, where we might see some light accumulation around Price. But generally, things are winding down by midnight. We've had some gusty northerly winds. Those winds will likely relax just a bit, but still kind of funnel through some of those canyons around Washington County. It could stay a little gusty for tonight and into tomorrow morning. But tomorrow morning, clear skies, and we have lots of sunshine in the forecast. Few clouds, though, mainly staying to our north, but if you're near the Idaho border, you can expect some afternoon clouds like Cache Valley and Bear Lake. Additional snowfall, the Uintas might get a couple more inches and probably less than an inch in Price, and that's about it going forward because the overall trend is looking pretty quiet. Very sunny, though, expected this weekend. Keep in mind those temperatures are still pretty cold during the morning, but mild in the afternoon, and enjoy all that statewide sunshine. Temperatures still in the 30s and 40s across eastern and northern Utah, but overnight lows will likely be dipping into the 20s here along the Wasatch Front with some teens in our mountain valleys and through central Utah. So any Friday night plans got bundle up. It's going to be cold, but by the afternoon tomorrow, look at all that sunshine. Nice highs near 50, which is pretty typical for this time of year in northern, eastern, and central Utah, really. And St. George, you'll be climbing to the mid-60s. The jet stream that brings in that active weather likely is going to park itself just north of Utah, so I think that's the storm zone. The extended day forecast shows above normal chances for precipitation, probably going to be north of Utah with dry weather here in Utah and warm weather. So with that jet stream, the warmer air is south of it, and it looks pretty mild and very spring-like through mid-March. Not saying that we're not going to see anything, but right now I'm not really seeing anything significant coming our way, at least in the next 10 days or so. Sunny weather this weekend in St. George, 60s jump to the 70s, and we're staying in the 70s through Wednesday, but look how warm it gets in southern Utah. Beginning on Thursday, we're into the 80s. Salt Lake, 50, go to 58 on Sunday. Not a bad weekend, sunny skies. Monday, a bit warmer, though, at 66. Now, there is a cold front that's going to drop our temperature about 10 degrees on Tuesday with some clouds. Most of the moisture is going to stay well to our north, and then we're back into the 60s by Thursday.
It will be a very busy weekend over at the Salt Palace Convention Center. That's because there's 2 huge conventions underway. One of them is Roots Tech. Organizers there say that the goal is to help people from all over the world learn about their ancestors. This year, 11 international MCs will take part. The Family History Convention runs until Saturday evening, and there's also an online option for people who want to go but can't attend in person. And the Salt Lake City Tattoo Expo also underway over at the Salt Palace. This one is going to run until Sunday. More than 500 tattoo artists representing 138 shops from across the world will take part. Artists will use the convention to show off a variety of techniques, styles, and designs that they have created for those who like to ink up. That's probably going to be a pretty popular show. All right, that's going to do it for ARC Salt Lake. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back over on Channel 2 for 2 News at 9 and 10.